Good morning and welcome. Thank you for being here. I want to extend a very warm welcome to some of our dignitaries who are giving us of their time this morning to attend this opening ceremony of the Tri-Association. We have with us this morning the Ambassador of the United States of America, Ms. Robin Bernstein, the Ambassador from Canada, Shauna Hemingway, and the Italian Ambassador, Mr. Andrea Capenari. Thank you for being here. We also have representatives from the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Tourism from the Dominican Republic. We have board members from the Carol Morgan School and past board presidents. We have the PTA president from the Carol Morgan School. From representing the Office of Overseas Schools, we have the Regional Education Officer for the Tri-Association, Ms. Robin Heslip, and we also have Mr. Larry Hobdo, who has been helping us fill in while Robin was able to come on board. So we're very happy that we have finally got you, Robin. We've been waiting for her for about a year or so. We also have a very, very special guest, a very welcome and long tenured director of Carol Morgan, Jack Delman, came down to be with us with his wife Raquel. We know that you took, Jack, we know you took the Bird Eye Special and that you are probably going to be crashing after these next 2 days, you and Raquel. So we really appreciate you coming down to join us for this. I also want to thank the Tri-Association Board, Mr. Maclou Foyet, Liliana Jenkins, and Jasmine Estrella for their unconditional support of all the Tri-Association activities. As you saw, the theme for this conference is Transforming Schools from Within. Like I said in my letter to you, school transformation is not the work of any one individual. One of the inspirations for the theme for this conference was Fran Proma's book, Transforming Schools, Leading and Learning in Complex Systems, where she cites trust, building community and connections, collaboration, and deep listening as essential conditions for lasting transformation. While all of these are important, I want us to take a minute to reflect on trust. Fran says, could we have the slide on trust, please? We'll go ahead and quote Fran. Transformation cannot occur without a strong culture of trust. Trust is the foundation of strong relationships, collaboration, and honesty. Without trust, there is no psychological safety, and colleagues are afraid to take risks, try new things, learn, and grow for fear of retribution. Trust, however, can be elusive. People can sense it if it is there or not. But for leaders to truly take the time to study it and embrace the components of it and grow it intentionally and consciously is what we need for true transformation to take place. So thank you for that inspiration, Fran. I also want to take a moment before I introduce the next speaker, Mr. Nicholas Mostert, who is the Director General of the Carol Morgan School, to thank the school and their group of volunteers for the hard work that has gone into putting this event together. As you can see around you, all the details, all the organizational aspects of this conference could not take place without the spirit and the effort and the volunteerism on the part of many people. The Tri-Association has a virtual staff of 2 people who work at the American School Foundation of Monterey, and they give the association support after hours. They have long days, they work hard, and they also help me put this event together. Thank you, Gerardo and Rocio, for making this possible. As you can see around you, there's a lot of shark pride around us in this school. A testament to that is what they have done to convert the Shark Center into this wonderful plenary ambience for us. So it is with great pride and honor to have met you and worked with you that I want to introduce Nicholas Mostert, the director of Carroll Morgan School. Nicholas.
Ambassador Bernstein, Ambassador Canapari, Hemingway, representatives of the Ministry of Education and Tourism of the Dominican Republic, members of the Office of Overseas Schools, members of the school board, past and present, CMS PTO, and my leadership team. I think at this moment my entire speech has changed because suddenly technology played with us, and I've been sitting with a clicker trying my best to make it move forward. So the lights are not functioning here, so I can't read. I don't even have to use my glasses this morning. But a warm welcome to everybody here. I wanna feel the crowd a little bit, and I wanna say, let's hear and a big welcome to the members from Mexico. Where are you? The schools and staff and teachers from Colombia. Welcome, Central America. Welcome, the beautiful Caribbean. And of course, the lovely island we call home. As we walked onto campus this morning and we looked at the theme of transforming schools within, I have just one challenge to everybody here today. All of us have gone through education. All of us have had challenges in our path, and all of us have succeeded. For us here, it's more about what's the future. Ladies and gentlemen, we as educators have the future in our hands. What we need is compassion. We can say, and we can look at research, and there's multiple research on what is important and what moves students forward and what makes students be successful in schools. But I've come to a final conclusion. We can have all these amazing facilities, and I'm honored to be the head of Carroll Morgan School. But it needs to come from the heart. So I challenge every single one of us here today, if you're in education or not, or with your students or your kids at home, fill your heart with compassion and drive our students into the future. Because we unfortunately and fortunately hold that in our hands. That's my message this morning. They said I must keep it extremely short. And I just want to add again, compassion, compassion, compassion for our students, for our staff, for our community. With that, we'll go forward in the future, and our students and our staff and our parents and our ex-alumnus will be successful. It has been an amazing road for me, and I want to thank Carroll Morgan School and the community for the trust and the major honor they have put in me. It is walking on the campus this morning and coming through and actually leaving last night at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and seeing our maintenance workers non-stop putting an effort in to make sure this event is successful. I want to wish every single person, from my steering committee, from all the volunteers, from our PTO parents, our wonderful students that are on campus today, our maintenance workers, and our parents. Thank you very much. And a huge welcome to every single one of you. Enjoy the beautiful island. Enjoy the fantastic city, Santo Domingo. Enjoy the people, enjoy the food, and have fun. I hope this conference is going to be a huge success and something that you can put in a memory for you and remember for life. We thank you to be part of this conference. Thank you very much. It is with great honor to introduce Dr. Robin Heslop, Regional Education Officer from the Office of Overseas Schools. Robin is new to our region, and let's make sure that we give her a warm, try welcome. Robin Heslop.
Buenos dias. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Department of State, Office of Overseas Schools, I would like to welcome you to the Tri-Association's 37th Annual Educators Conference. I want to also express a special thank you to Dr. Larry Hubdahl and Mr. Thomas Shear, who covered the region for the past year and a half while I was in Abu Dhabi as the superintendent, waiting to be onboarded into the State Department. I also want to express my deepest appreciation to Nicholas and his entire staff for hosting this wonderful conference. At this time, it is my privilege to introduce the Ambassador of the United States of America to the Dominican Republic. Ambassador Robin Bernstein was sworn in as the United States Ambassador to the Dominican Republic by President Donald J. Trump on July 3, 2018. She has served as the President and Director of Richard S. Bernstein and Associates Incorporated and Vice President and Director of Risbar Incorporated until her resignation on June 29, 2018, after her confirmation as an ambassador by the United States Senate. Her 4 decades of service and experience in business, government, and the nonprofit community have demonstrated her dedicated and successful leadership and management. Her wide variety of contacts in the business, political, and nonprofit sectors have enabled her to contribute to many fields, such as education, disaster relief, and women's empowerment. Over the course of her career, Ambassador Bernstein has developed extensive experience as an entrepreneur, business consultant, insurance broker, real estate broker, and registered representative of numerous companies. She accompanied Florida Governor Jeb Bush as a member of his international trade mission to Israel in 1999. She was the administrative assistant to a county commissioner of the Palm Beach County Commission and executive secretary to the assistant secretary for policy at the United States Department of Commerce in Washington, D.C. Ambassador Bernstein has worked as a campaign manager for a federal election campaign and as a member of a presidential transition team. She has shown a demonstrated commitment to the nonprofit sector and has served on many boards and councils. She is the co-founder of Palm Beach County Cares, a Florida relief effort for victims of Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Ambassador Bernstein earned a Bachelor of Arts in Language Area Studies from the American University School of International Service and an MBA from George Washington University. She received the Women in Leadership Award from the Executive Women of the Palm Beaches. Ambassador Bernstein, in addition to English, speaks French and Spanish. It is an honor to have such a distinguished woman serve as the United States Ambassador to the Dominican Republic. Please welcome Ambassador Bernstein.
Good morning. Honorable Ambassador of Canada to the Dominican Republic, Shauna Hemingway. Honorable Ambassador of Italy to the Dominican Republic, Andrea Canapari. Dr. Sonia Keller, Executive Director of the Tri-Association. Drs. Robin Heslip and Lawrence Hobdell with the Department of State Office of Overseas Schools. Dr. Manuel Caceres, Vice President of the Carroll Morgan School Board. Dr. Nicholas Mostert, Head of School of Carroll Morgan School. Dr. Shabi Luthra, our distinguished keynote speaker. Members of the Diplomatic Corps and international organizations, representatives from the Ministry of Education and of the Dominican Republic, educators and administrators of American schools across the Caribbean, Central America, Colombia, Ecuador, and Mexico. Distinguished guests and friends. Well, that's a long list. Good morning, buenos dias, and welcome to the Tri-Association's 37th Annual Educators Conference. I want to start by thanking President Trump and the American people for the opportunity to be with you this morning. It is a great honor to serve as the chief representative of our nation here in the beautiful Dominican Republic. I also want to thank my family for all of their support, and especially my husband Richard, who's here with me today, and our daughter Juju for being here with me in the Dominican Republic. As the American ambassador and a businesswoman, I understand the role that education plays in the advancement of society and growth of economic opportunity. More importantly, as a parent, I appreciate the importance of education in shaping our children and providing them with the tools they need to forge their own future. An American educational curriculum is, in part, a distillation of America's history, society, and values. As such, each and every one of you is in some way acting as a diplomat, building a bridge between America and your students, wherever they may come from. That bridge, those people-to-people relationships that you all forge every day, are the fabric that weaves together our shared values in this hemisphere. We see it in our families, commerce, tourism, and certainly in the field of education. So, both professionally and personally, I extend my deepest regard for the work that all of you do every day to broaden the minds of children across this region. I also want to thank Carol Morgan School, which also represents the best of America to the world. Starting in 1933 with just 5 students, Mrs. Carol Morgan responded to the need for an American education in the Dominican Republic and built the foundations of this amazing institution that we see today, which has educated thousands of young minds who have and will continue to impact the world for the better. As many parents of recent high school graduates can attest, a primary and secondary school education can often seem like a stressful race to achieve and obtain admissions from leading universities. But at its core, education is about preparing our children to try and fail and try again in order to become their best, most successful selves. President Abraham Lincoln, in consoling his son's close friends upon failing to gain a coveted college admission, once wrote, "I have scarcely felt greater pain in my life than on yesterday learning that you failed to enter Harvard University. And yet, there is little in it if you will allow no feeling of discouragement to seize and prey upon you. In your temporary failure, there is no evidence that you may not yet be a better scholar and a more successful man in the great struggle of life than many others." So, in the spirit of those words, I urge you to focus not only on achieving high test scores or a list of prestigious university admissions, but on building the character and fortitude necessary for our children to thrive in a fast-paced and competitive world. I feel that teaching our children to get back up and try again after failing is just as important as teaching them how to succeed. Thank you for the invitation to address you all today. I hope the conference is a fruitful one. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless the Dominican Republic. And may God bless our educators wherever they are. Thank you.
Let's give her another round of applause for Ambassador Bernstein. At this moment, we will do a shift in our presentation or our opening ceremony this morning. These lovely, I felt so privileged to sit between these lovely ladies this morning. So they're going to be moving off the stage at this moment as we are preparing for our student performance that will take place in about a minute. If you can just get us off the stage at the stage. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them another round of applause. Thank you very much, students. I wanna just say our lead singer, Maria Jose Romero, under the guidance of Harry Solano, our drummers and musicians, Claudia Reyes and the entire drumming boys up here, lights and sound, Antonio Sarabas, dance instructor, Patricia Abreu, service learning. There's something special about this group. It is not just Carol Morgan students. We have a couple of students here of outreach, two of our local schools that we reached out, and some of their drummers are right here participating with us. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. And then also final coordination of this entire event, Ms. Analia Denmon. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you. As we're preparing to get the mic set up, just two people that I want to really thank also, right in the back. You did not see them on stage today. Pablo Herrera and Angel Duran that have done all the coordination with the lights. Thank you very much for both of you and the entire team. At this moment, I would like to introduce Laura Light from ISS. And welcome, Laura. How many years, my dear? Laura Light was a teacher at Carol Morgan School 30 years ago. Let's give her a round of applause, Laura.
And I'm so glad to be back. Thank you very much. Thank you for that warm welcome. And congratulations to the TRI Association for the conference here at the Carol Morgan School. International School Services is a proud supporter of all that you do. And I'm sure that the coming days will be full of learning, growing, creating new ties, and yes, conversations about transforming schools from within. You have a strong showing here, and I know I speak for all when I say thank you to Sonia for all the hard work that you have done. So thank you. International School Services is a nonprofit based in Princeton, New Jersey, and we've been around since 1955. And while we've been around the longest, and some would call us the oldest, I do believe ISS is also the one that is setting the standard, and we're being innovative. Many changes are coming around with ISS, thanks to our president, Liz Duffy, and our partnerships and new ideas are getting more and more attention. Actually, this past week, we just launched a whole new recruiting service. So we're here to help all schools and educators with recruiting, as well as many other services that we offer. What's been put in place is cutting edge and beneficial for all involved. Our future looks great, and we hope to help you with your future. Now, I am honored to be here and being given the opportunity to introduce Shabi Luthra. I remember meeting Shabi years ago at a conference. We were just discussing that. We couldn't remember which one, but it was years ago. And our paths have crossed many times since then. International School Services has had many interactions with Shabi, and we all hold her in the highest regard. Shabi is innovative. Excuse me, I have my papers here. Innovative. Innovative and a groundbreaker, and we're fortunate to have her here with us. Shabi has a long history with international schools, and her experiences in New Delhi, Mumbai, and Dubai are part of her 3 decades in various roles as she shows our schools and she knows our schools well. Today, Shabi is founder and CEO of Consilience, a nonprofit global innovation company that has created school-tested systems, processes, and tools for sustained innovation. Consilience supports institutions and educators to transforming teaching and learning. Shabi's expertise include envisioning, deploying, and providing guidance in the areas of technology, integration programs, and staff development, building technology leadership at all levels of the school, and planning and managing change and transitions in schools. Shabi is also an adjunct professor for Buffalo State College and Boston University, and we're so fortunate to have her here with us today. So please help me give her a warm welcome, Shabi Luthra.
Thank you, Laura. We're having a little technical difficulty. I think we should be able to solve this quickly. All right? Okay, let's do that. All right, while they troubleshoot, let me give you a little bit of a background on myself and a little bit, let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to talk about. I might have to do this like this. Have you imagine a slide on the screen. I started in education almost 34 years back at the American Embassy School in Delhi. And all right. Almost my entire career has been in the area of educational technology and working with students, teachers, administrators, parents across the K-12 spectrum, and also in higher ed, because I taught at BU as an adjunct professor for almost 12 years. And so tech integration has been close to my heart, and helping teachers use technology effectively, helping students and parents also understand the role of technology in their lives and their futures. My interest in technology led me to further develop my explorations in future trends, and also understand and study their impact on society and education. I believe that if we are aware of trends and that we intentionally and constantly explore their implications, we are more likely to better prepare our students for their futures. So it's an important area and an important field for all of us as educators to know about. I think all of us as educators are futurists, and if not, we should be futurists. We should be thinking about the future beyond what we have been told is the future, Because now the future that we are looking at in the next 5 to 10 years and beyond is not something that's predictable. It's a very different world. And so we have to prepare our kids well in order for them to be able to survive and thrive in their new world that's coming for everyone, not just for us, but also for our kids. All right, so where are we with our presentation? Okay, let's do that. All right. All right. Anybody want to sing a song while we figure out how we do this? I will have to change our computer. Okay. Let's do this. Can you hear me? Or can I only hear myself? All right. Great. All right. Wonderful. Thank you, Mohit. Wonderful. All right. We're talking about the future, so we have to have a little bit of a drama around it. Okay, so the way that I'm going to do this presentation is I'm going to give you a glimpse into a few of the trends. I'm not going to give you it's not a lecture on trends. It's really about giving you a glimpse into the more clearer trends that are out there. And then we'll talk through some strategies that schools can use to bring the future into their classrooms and into their schools. It's a complex process, so it needs strategies and it needs mindsets and tools to be able to do that. And so I'm going to walk you through that part. So we're going to spend about 15 minutes talking about some trends and another 30 minutes talking about the different strategies that you can use. This is how the future looks. It's a big jigsaw puzzle. There are pieces of it that come together, but you really can't pull all of it together. It's very complex. It's very uncertain, and it's very ambiguous. This gentleman is the founder and chairman of the World Economic Forum. If you're not familiar with the World Economic Forum, it is an important space where every educator should be visiting it, and every school leader should be reading some of the reports that are coming out of the World Economic Forum. They do a lot of predictive analysis. They also write up predictions about what areas are being addressed by economies, by organizations, by different industries. If you want kids to research gender inequities, that's the place you would go to for your reports, for your initial reports. So Klaus Schwab says that we stand on the brink of a technological revolution that will fundamentally alter the way we live, work, and relate to one another. In its scale, scope, and complexity, the transformation will be unlike anything mankind has experienced before. He's not talking about change. He's talking about a transformation, which is a completely different world altogether. So that's something for us to just mentally start being prepared for. It's 2018. By the time we look back from 2025 to 2018, we'll have seen several elements of that transformation come true. Klaus Schwab has talked about the fourth industrial revolution. If you are not familiar with it or you haven't heard about it, I would suggest reading this book, which actually outlines all of the pieces and elements of the fourth industrial revolution. It's a must-read for anyone in a leadership position, and especially those in technology positions, because no longer are you getting your technology departments to plug in laptops for a presentation or ensuring kids are bringing in particular devices and ensuring networks are working. You're also going to have to try and start figuring out how you're going to keep your school and your students safe from all of the elements of the fourth industrial revolution, as well as have them start to use those effectively for their futures. He's written a second book just recently called Shaping the Future of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and this is the one that Satya Nadella, who is the CEO of Microsoft, has written a foreword for. It's, again, one of the must-read books. I'm very fond of reading, if you can't figure that out by now. And so I will, throughout my presentation this morning, as well as in the afternoons, talk a lot about the kinds of stuff that we as educators should start reading as well, because all of these are going to eventually impact our lives. So today, we'll briefly cover some future trends and how these are disrupting different industries. Unfortunately, education is not considered an industry, but let's call it the slowest industry. We're going to talk a little bit about the changed nature of our world, and I'll talk a little bit about VUCA, what that means, and how we have to prepare our students to live and thrive in the VUCA world, which is what we are in the middle of. We're going to talk a little bit about the exponential change knocking on the door of education. And then finally, I'll share some mindset processes, tools, and strategies with you. So let's start with, if I can get my... All All right, so Scott Klosowski is a futurist. If there's one name that you want to think about, is Klosowski. He talks about how the future of, a lot about the future of technology, and he talks about the fact that we're in the middle of a once in a millennia transition, which dwarfs any other time in the history of mankind. It's going to be a time where everything and anything that can be automated will get automated. So that's not a choice that will happen. It is already happening, and it will continue to happen. Automation is a given. We hear about the jobs and hundreds and thousands and millions of jobs that are going to be lost due to automation, yes. But at the same time, there's going to be many, many opportunities that are going to be created because of automation, because automation is going to happen to low-level jobs initially. And the human piece is going to be highlighted even more. What are the competencies and skills that we as humans are really good at? And that's where the highlight on empathy and compassion and critical thinking and complex problem solving will be our skill set as humans. And so developing those in schools and environments where kids and students and adults can learn about those is going to be essential. Universities are not going to do a good job in doing that. So let's not wait for universities to prepare ourselves or our students for their future. It's we in schools and parents who have to know about it and know and understand how to do it. We also have to empower our kids to be able to be ready for this future. And that readiness, because of what we understand about neuroscience and the late development of the prefrontal cortex, means we need to be able to provide some guidance and structures around the growth and development of all these different skills, while there are temptations and while there are distractions from the technologies that are going to be around us. Let's talk a little bit about disruption. We see disruption in almost every industry. And disruption takes, and I'm going to walk you through a couple of examples, and then we'll talk about why I don't see, or you don't see, disruption too often in education. So let's say a newcomer in any industry develops a new mousetrap or a new product, right? The industry will initially ignore that newcomer because they're busy, they're established, they're doing very well with the products that they have. Slowly, that new mousetrap's brand recognition grows. The industry doesn't like it because it's a new mousetrap and a new product, and so they do a little bit of bullying of that newcomer. Two things will happen. The newcomer will run away and shut down their product, or they will continue to grow and get enough consumers to like what they have. And then the industry adapts and improves, and at the end of it, the consumers benefit. We're the ones who benefit the most. So let me give you an example. Uber. Uber started in 2009. 19 hasn't even come, I'm already there. Okay, 2009. And they were trying to address a problem about getting from one place to the other very quickly and very easily without having to call up a taxi and wait for it. The industry ignored it. You know, it's a little app. Who cares? It's a few people who just sat around the table and designed it. Slowly, brand recognition of Uber grows. The industry bullies it. They still continue by getting a lot more investments in. And slowly, the industry adapts. The whole taxi industry had to start figuring out, the transport industry had to start figuring out how they're going to meet the demands of consumers. The consumers reap the benefits, and today around the globe, not just in the US, around the globe, there are many, many Uber-like companies that exist, whether it's called Uber today, or it's called Lyft tomorrow, or it's called Ola, they're everywhere. But what they did was they opened up the door to another opportunity, another kind of product. Tomorrow, there'll be a new kind of Uber, which will disrupt the industry again. So it's not over yet. The industry, the disruption cycle will continue. That's how development happens. Think about Airbnb. That's exactly what they did. 2008, the financial crisis created an opportunity for people to start letting out their homes or their places when they didn't want to use those. Again, today it is disrupting the hotel industry. Hotel industry sees Airbnb as one of their biggest competitors. And around the globe, there are many versions of Airbnbs. So it will be interesting to see in 10 years' time whether you have hotels or you have a different type of homestay programs. Let's see what happens in education. Somebody comes up with a new idea, a new pedagogy, a new way to be able to work with kids and to be able to make sure they're ready for life in their future. People ignore that. You know, we've got well-established research that says this is how it's to be done. And that research is helpful because guess what? I have 20 years of research. You have 0 years as a new product. So show me and prove it. Prove it is one of the words that you hear a lot about. Prove that this can actually have an impact. Slowly, brand recognition for that grows. And then the industry, which is education, with research and universities, bully that product or that new idea out. Education, innovation in education does not go beyond number 4. It does not move forward because we have many, many ways in which to block it. And today I'll share with you ways in which we go beyond that, and we are able to go beyond that cycle of closing down the disruption that can happen in education. This is something just for you to know about, be aware of the fact that this cycle of disruption has been happening for a couple of decades now, and it's picking up speed. Every big corporation today is under threat from some small product that's coming at them. Right? So these are hard trends and future facts. They're not future trends and hard